Attempting the biggest game show in history created unprecedented scale and a massive class action lawsuit from contestants. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing a forensic deep dive into the legal battles surrounding Beast Games. It's the massive production teaming up the world's biggest YouTuber, Jimmy Mr. Beast Donaldson, with Amazon MGM Studios. What was supposed to be this groundbreaking entertainment spectacle has literally transformed into a complex case file of severe allegations, ranging from labor misclassification all the way to extreme workplace hazards. Okay, let's dive right into this dossier. Here's our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the scale of the beast. Then, labor misclassification claims, safety and culture allegations, the defense arguments, and finally, industry and legal precedent. Section 1. Scale of the beast, setting the stage. To really grasp this lawsuit, we first have to understand the unprecedented ambition behind this whole project. The goal here was to create the absolute largest reality TV competition in history, bridging the gap between viral internet content and traditional premium streaming television on Amazon Prime Video. And that brings us to the budget. $100 million. Let the sheer logistical weight of that number sink in for a second. This wasn't just your standard internet video, right? This was a massive Hollywood-scale production that required immense infrastructure just to execute. But that infrastructure was immediately put to the test by the cast size. So the show was heavily advertised as having 1,000 contestants competing for a record-breaking $5 million grand prize. However, according to the lawsuit, 2,000 contestants actually arrived at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas in July 2024 for the initial filming. The plaintiffs claim this unannounced doubling of the contestant pool was basically false advertising because it materially reduced their originally represented odds of winning that life-changing prize. Section 2. Labor misclassification claims. This logistical strain in Vegas leads us directly to the first major legal hurdle, the September 2024 class action lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. The plaintiffs, who were initially 5 unnamed contestants, later joined by others, brought forward some severe claims regarding their legal employment status under California's AB 5 law. Now, what's really interesting about the slide is that the core legal mechanism of the plaintiff's argument hinges on one single word, and that's control. Contestants signed contracts that designated them as independent contractors. But the lawsuit argues that because the production dictated their strict 24-hour schedules, controlled their environment, and because their physical and emotional labor was the actual entertainment product being sold, they were legally employees. In legal terms, this is all about control and direction. If the court actually agrees and reclassifies these contestants as employees, the production could face massive liabilities. Let's walk through this forensic breakdown of the alleged California Labor Code violations. The plaintiffs claim they were denied a $16 per hour minimum wage. They allege they went completely unpaid for extensive overtime during 24-hour filming shifts. They also claim they were denied legally mandated 30-minute meal breaks and 10-minute rest breaks, and that their out-of-pocket expenses never reimbursed. Section 3. Safety and culture allegations. We need to look at these claims with a very serious procedural lens, as they really form the most severe portion of the dossier. While the financial claims are substantial, the lawsuit escalates significantly when detailing the physical environment and workplace culture during that Las Vegas filming. The plaintiffs are alleging extreme physical deprivation. According to the complaint and contestant interviews, production staff allegedly collected personal items upon arrival, and this resulted in dangerous delays in distributing essential medications for serious conditions like epilepsy and diabetes. Plaintiffs also claim food access was severely restricted. We're talking meals consisting of just a handful of raw vegetables, small cold oatmeal, or, after pleading, half a banana. Combined with being denied proper sleep in loud, crowded environments, the lawsuit claims this severe lack of medical logistics resulted in multiple hospitalizations for seizures, dehydration, and exhaustion. And these allegations actually extend beyond just the contestants. There's a separate, ongoing investigation by the Ontario Ministry of Labour regarding the show's second filming location up in Toronto. A crew member, referred to in reports as Sam, alleges he was struck by a falling piece of wood on set, resulting in the loss of use of his left arm. He claims that while hospitalized, a producer offered him an envelope containing just $1,000 in DoorDash and Uber gift cards as compensation. Returning to the class action lawsuit, the plaintiffs also allege a deeply toxic workplace culture. They cite an alleged internal document titled "How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production." One excerpt reportedly reads, and I quote,
If talent wants to draw a dick on the whiteboard, let them. Really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming. Help them be idiots. The lawsuit argues this specific directive fostered a hostile, frat-like environment. Building on that, the complaint specifically alleges systemic sexism and misogyny on set. Female contestants claim they were denied equal access to restrooms and essential feminine hygiene products, alleging that staff members even laughed at their requests. These Title IX-style culture complaints are so grave that the lawsuit is actually seeking to establish a specific subclass solely for female contestants who allegedly suffered under this hostile environment. Section 4. The defense arguments. Let's move to the next part and see how this builds. To maintain an objective, balanced view of this dossier, it is absolutely essential that we examine the defense's counters to these severe allegations. Production ambition of this scale comes with inherent complexities, and the defense has presented a very different narrative of events.
First up, we have to look at the standard reality TV assumption of risk contract signed by the participants. It explicitly states, "I understand that such activities may cause me death, illness, or serious bodily injury, including, but not limited to, exhaustion, dehydration, overexertion, burns, and heat stroke." The defense is highly likely to argue that contestants were legally warned and fully aware of the extreme physical toll these reality competition games would demand. Furthermore, a spokesperson for Mr. Beast issued an official statement to the New York Times attributing the chaotic environment in Las Vegas not to malice or intentional deprivation, but to unprecedented external factors. They specifically cited the massive global CrowdStrike software outage that occurred on July 19th, right as filming began, which crashed systems worldwide. They also pointed to extreme Las Vegas weather conditions, which created uncontrollable logistical and communications hurdles for the production team. There is also a really stark contrast in the narratives regarding the physical challenges themselves. While plaintiffs point to unsafe conditions leading to hospitalizations, Mr. Beast directly addressed concerns about challenges involving trapdoor drops. He stated that the production utilized these same elite stunt crews used in major Hollywood action movies. He noted that contestants dropped into 5 feet of thick foam backed by crash pads, and that the production executed 5,000 safety test drops prior to filming to ensure absolute safety. In response to the broader PR crisis and these allegations of a hostile workplace, Jimmy Donaldson has taken proactive measures. It's been widely reported that he ordered a full, independent assessment of his company's internal culture and outlined plans to implement required company-wide sensitivity training. This really signals an intent to institutionalize professional standards as his internet empire transitions over to mainstream media. Section 5, Industry and Legal Precedent. So why is this specific case file so important to everyone else? We need to zoom out and look at the broader implications here, because the resolution of this lawsuit could send shockwaves far beyond just Mr. Beast and Amazon. So the crucial point is that this lawsuit strikes at the very heart of the modern gig economy and reality television. Legal experts point out that the classification issues here perfectly parallel the battles fought by esports workers. Plus, it heavily echoes the recent lawsuit and controversies surrounding Netflix's Squid Game: The Challenge. If the court ultimately rules that the level of control and direction exerted over these 2,000 contestants legally made them employees, well, it could entirely redefine how Hollywood utilizes independent contractor loopholes for reality TV. And this whole situation brilliantly illustrates the core tension of the new creator economy meeting traditional Hollywood. When internet creators, who are accustomed to total control and massive chaotic spectacles, scale up to $100 million studio productions, the friction is almost inevitable. It leaves us with one vital question: where does production ambition end and legal liability begin? We're going to be tracking this case closely as it develops. Subscribe to follow every dossier.